Welcome, 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 everybody. My name is Night Falcon, and I'm going to be helping you guys out today as we go through this matchup between R22R and L9o. Looking forward to helping you guys out today and this epic Division 3 clash and battle here. So we're just working to get ourselves set up here. As we begin for this match, as it is starting to flip, we're going to go ahead and give you a quick rundown of the rules that we're going to be working with today. Very first one is going to be the one-man RD. Just like any other match here in TPL, each team is allotted one artilleryman who's able to go ahead and man that gun. They will be the only ones responsible for doing so, and if they get off the gun, if they end up getting killed, then at that point, they will no longer, there is code written into the game here that will cause some of their friendly teammates to go ahead and die. And so we don't want that to happen. And so we are going to be focused on one-man RD only. Second one is going to be the unkillable nodes. Each team is allotted the X specific amount for their resource generation. And we don't want the other team messing with those. And finally, the third one is going to be the Panther ban for the Axis forces, who are only going to be able to work with the Tigers. So today we're going to be casting from the Allied perspective and trying to show as much of this action as we can for L9o. Just looking to get here up on our cast here. All right. We'll peek behind the curtain here as we get ourselves ready to go for this TPL matchup. So today's fight is going to be fought over the southern portion checkpoint here on SME. Now, SME is one of those core meta maps that we like to have fun with here in Hell Let Loose. It really is going to be a really good balance point here for both the Allied and the Axis forces, with both of them with it basically coming straight down the middle. So both teams are going to have access to be able to get what they need in order to get this, or are going to have a pretty fair advantage, and it's left up to how they went about planning everything and getting it all set up. So with the L9o side here, we've got, it looks like a Greyhound coming out of the south. We've also got their medium tank that's coming out with a Stuart tank also. A few different transport trucks. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if there's any snipes that have been prepped for either team. Doesn't look like I'm seeing any from the L9o side. Let's see if we do have some coming out. It looks like from the Stuart and the Greyhound that have started lighting things up here on the backside. So far, it looks like nothing is hit yet, as we see supply drops coming down for the Axis side on that southern hedge. Rockets are starting to fly here as these trucks do start moving in here to the point. One rocket going out, missing. Another rocket missing as well. Looks like trucks are delayed just a little bit in getting out, so it might be throwing the timing off for both teams just a little bit. Bilbo and White able to come off this southern side as the other truck here for R22R moving up. Very close. Rocket flies right over the top, but does not make contact with the truck itself. R22R sending a very strong presence here to the southern flank of checkpoint, and a lot of bodies to the north, as well as L9o appears to go straight for the hard cap. Putting all their money here, trying to get as many bodies into the cap as possible here. Voodoo taken out with the fight along the side as R22R now has moved up and has been able to gain control over the southern side and push into these lead hedges here. We did see a vehicle get destroyed over here on the backside, so let's see what we are working with. Looks like the Lux for the German side has already gone out, so good work for L9o, who looks like the medium Sherman was able to take that out, so very well done. Plenty of cap pressure going back and forth. Looks like now it's in the favor of R22R as they gain a strong footing here over the southern side as Blackhawk is taken out. Bastu has taken out St. Mark's. Let's take a look and see what Bastu's working with here. Luckily for us, his gun is going to be rendering in, most likely relaying commands to his squad as he looks to try to figure out what's going on. But unfortunately, Caster's Cruz does come in and he is taken out. Looks like the first transport truck here has gone up in smoke for L9o. For the sake of ease, we're going to call L9o, I apologize, it's L9o is Hombre. So for Hombre here, R22R still getting cap pressure here, and it looks like that initial push for Hombre has been kind of wiped out. Let's go take a look and see what things are looking like here. As Pesas is the only person here in this 3-story building here, and the rest followed by R22R that's slowly just encompassing him. Pesas, knowing that he's alone, just kind of is hiding in his corner. Let's see if we can get a look through the window as this battle looks to unfold here. Pesas, knowing this R22R guy is around him. Oh, but unfortunately, it looks like not able to know, or it looks like that confrontation has gone away for just a second as R22R now is finalizing the cap here. And with that, R22R does take the early lead here for SM on this Division 3 matchup here. Let's go ahead and update our score. Alright, so now that the initial cap is kind of taking place, let's go ahead and take a quick step back here and see what everything's looking like here for Hombre as they start getting pressure back into checkpoint here from a good push right up the middle. So down here on the southern edge, it looks like they are still pushing, but they have their triple stack tanks here with their initial Greyhound, their initial medium, and their initial Stuart here, trying to push up against that southern hedge flank. Trying to get some pressure for him. So this will be interesting to see as it continues to build out. Now, they are becoming a little sparse up here on the northern side, as it looks like R22R has been able to push people north as far as Church here in the middle of SME. But for Garrison Network, it looks like so far we're looking pretty good for Hombre. Using plenty of places to go ahead and try to get back in as Wolf Creek sails a rocket just to the south. Now, looking here, it looks like more and more rockets coming in for Hombre. Some pretty sharp shooters as we see body parts starting to fly around. But R22R is getting an advantage here on this backside as they have been able to get up Garrison, or not Garrison, but a Belgian gate here. Now, this is going to let them get some pretty good angle perspectives here over those advances here from Hombre. But those tanks definitely are keeping them off that edge. So those tanks coming in clutch here for Hombre as they continue to try to make progress onto checkpoint. And it continues to flicker here. Going back and forth like a teeter-totter. We do have a supply truck here, possibly driven by Laberju. With our engineer man back here, but able to escape those two tanks that are here on the backside. Good work from Hombre to go ahead and support their medium as he currently has two engineers right behind him, looking to try to go ahead and get some additional reps to support on him. As Blackhawk's just sitting here repping that tank as much as he possibly can to keep it in the fight. Go ahead and look at the north side, see what's going on here. Joining Cactus and Airborne. Gandalf embracing his inner you shall not pass moment, making sure he holds his line. But Cactus able to get back here behind the line a little bit with Lima and Timberwolf. Cactus just trying to find where these OPs may be, because taking out those spawns are going to be vital in order to try to keep the enemy from advancing and causing him to go ahead and redeploy back to farther locations, to garrisons and whatnot, if OPs are able to be removed. Airborne, though, and Lima coming up on a collision path here. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if Airborne, no, does not push into the building. Lima all by himself, though, trying to hold those stairs, make sure nobody comes up in there as he tries to hold that ground, as he is now on his own little island. Hero advancing here against Virus 13. Battle of officers. Go ahead and see how this is going to continue developing as Pessis is taken out by Hero. Virus getting shots on Hero, but Virus missing as Lanak comes around and removes him from the conversation. With that, R22R is starting to be able to get that push into the eastern side of the street here and pushing more and more of those hombres back. So as we can see now, R22R appears to have a good, solid control over the mid-cap sector and are continuing just to push back hombre. Some good flares coming up over here on the southern side here for the Allied forces as they see these giant pushes. Sorry about that. Giant pushes coming in. Medium and a Panzer IV are off battling here, so got Napkin of Death and his crew just kind of backing up out of here. Got a little bit of smoke coming off the front from one round that looks like they may have taken to the turret. But so far, just backing up, trying to get out of danger as they do it. Seem to have eliminated that medium tank and Greyhound that we're here on the southern side for Hombre. With that, we should start seeing our first heavy tank starting to come out of spawns. Yep, there is 176 that's been spawned in. H-Squad's going to go ahead and take that. So soon that armor advantage is going to be coming up here for Hombre. As R22R continues just to grind out the Hombre defenses here on the southern side, gaining more and more ground. Now, these open fields are going to be pretty difficult to get across. So we could see a little bit of a stalemate here. I mean, the wheat does help out a little bit, but due to R22R's advantage here of the Belgian gate, they are going to have that angle of sightline to be able to see them as they're out running through those fields. So advantage to R22R. That is where Will tries to fire a rocket. Wolf Creek missing, but loading up for a second shot. They say second time is the charm here, especially in the rocket world. I know it is for myself. But Wolf Creek smartly moving out of the bush, negating a possible second rocket attack. Grabbin, though, coming up for Wolf Creek. Does not notice him as Wolf Creek stays still. Occupied, though, able to get some shots. Wolf Creek taking a shot, hits Occupied. Drabin, though, able to turn around, see what was going on as Mutaka is able to take him out. So slowly but surely, R22R just keeps on forcing their way into these points. As the push here from Hombre really is concentrated now up this middle road into checkpoint and this bottom point right here into the south as we see a friendly bombing run coming in. Hopefully this will get them the room they need to get cleared out and back over to their point. I'm going to go ahead and watch what the destruction looks like here. Taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, 4. Master Chip's still up. Or, yeah, Master Chip's still up. So, able to get more than the competitive average, as Smithers says, of 3 off that bombing run. So we'll count that as a victory. We are seeing some explosions here on the back side for R22R. Most likely it's a transport truck off the rip, though, or it looks like a rep station here. As this Tiger tank now is pushing up against map edge. So first heavy up onto the field belongs to R22R as Rough Puff is watching over the southern side against this 76 and medium tank that are here double stacking on the bottom. So we have a heavy and medium combination from both sides trying to hold over this southern flank here for both teams as R22R is pushing down through the wheat. And we see allied supplies coming as well. Demon, though, taking cover behind the rep station. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what he is working with. As he appears to now have been eliminated by that. So, Demon, sorry about the caster curse there. No sooner had we locked onto you that you were than you were eliminated. One shot appears to have come out of the 76. Looking like they have maybe gotten an angle on that Tiger. But the Tiger does have the advantage of the rep station here on the backside. Tiger just scanning on through for Rough Puff. Let's go ahead and take a look and see kind of what they're working with. So even if we zoom in just a little bit here, we don't really have an angle at this time for this Tiger tank. But we know that the 76 here for Hombre is sitting right there behind that corner. So from the caster perspective, we do have a little bit of fun to know exactly where those targets are. But these guys definitely looks like holding some very tight angles. Let's go ahead, let's get zoomed in up here on the action up in the hard cap sector. Sounds like a recon plane is going above for R22R at the moment, trying to locate where the Hombre push is coming from, as Hombre has now been able to take control of this 3-story building here north of checkpoint. So this point for the northern forces is very pivotal in trying to attack and hold checkpoint. A lot of these maps, you'll notice here in the competitive scene, do end up having other small little objectives that are kind of key in order to get presses and pushes onto the actual hard cap. So for a lot of these teams, it's more than just getting people into the cap sector of the actual hard cap, but it's these squads have already prepped these maps so much during the last week that they know they have to get to certain areas to hold if they're going to look to prevent crossfire onto their other friendly forces and try to allow them to push up into their sectors. So we are able to see Pit Nicholas able to get behind this Manager 4 and is able to take it out. So good rockets from Nicholas as he goes on. Let's give him a good old Talon strike here from the Falcon cast. Bird's eye view of the action going on here. Taking out that and retreating back, able to get out of the danger, and now is here all alone on the R22R side of the hard cap. So good work from Nicholas here. Carbo taken out here as R22R members are starting to push back in through the point. Audi taking out Gene as well with his good old trusty STG-44 here. Very widely used weapon here for the Axis forces. That level 9 assault class often coming in clutch. The good old satchel and deadly R22R assault rifle, not R22R, but STG assault rifle here. Let's go ahead and take this fire as Hyvon and Tintin are on a collision course moving through the canal. Tintin, though, getting Hyvon, getting the first shot in. Good work by Tintin. Let's go ahead and take a look now as we know that Audi is back there as well. Tintin's going to reload. Going for that strategic reload. Let's take a look and see what he is looking at through his viewpoint. Looks like he does have a pretty good angle underneath that bridge. Now, when we go into this view, our viewpoint does end up being a little bit lower than what the player might see. So, from his perspective, it might not be very conducive, but it looks like now he has been able to get a pretty good angle into that that bed here, the trench. So very good position to hold as he works for his teammates to go ahead and move back up up that trench and get additional forces trying to get that push here. Match leading out the charge here for R22R as he tries to push farther down this road towards the Maison de Creek. We're going to go out and throw it out there. I know plenty of people speak French in this game. I, unfortunately, am not one of them. So as a small legal disclaimer, any names that are mispronounced are not done so out of a level of spite or anything there. Just purely English-born or American-born English speaker, speaks a little bit of Dutch, and unfortunately does not speak much French. Spamming also prevalent in this match, so again, another one that I'm not able to help out with. But again, apologies for all the people out there that might take a little bit of laugh, comic relief from the way that I found some of these names. And by all means, go ahead and do so. That's part of the entertainment factor here. Good rockets coming out here from Lafay. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what Ronaldo's working with here. So you see, here's kind of what I was talking about. To us, it looks like he is flipping the wall, but he is not. So we're going to go handy-dandy laser pointer here to get a little bit of a look at what he is working with. Take off our rotation lock so we can see. Now we can see white up there in the top corner here of that 2-3-story building in the background, firing away. But from our perspective, we don't have a lot of people run around. So for him, it looks pretty quiet, but we do have the caster's ability here to know that they are definitely out there. Not to provide a foreboding kind of impact here, but he sees there are lots of people out there to fight, but unfortunately he cannot see them. Now it looks like we do see an airhead coming in for Ombre. We'll go ahead and take a peek and see how that is going to land on his backside, as we do have some squad members back here to go ahead and keep an eye out for it. Let's see if we can see the glow of where that airhead is going to land. Right on back here by this, nestled right up into the corner of those houses. R22R is starting to notice that the airhead is coming in, but Grimmix Q has looked to continue to hold that area down for him. Bump, though, coming from the backside. Will they get a spawn wave off as he uses his 2 grenades? Might have one more in his pocket to try to throw down onto that airhead as it's spawned. We should be getting it any second now. If Bump's able to get out on this, taking shots, taking hits, but looks like he will get that spawn out of here. That airhead is gone with no spawn lock on it. So Bump coming in clutch with Timberwolf falling close behind to take out that airhead. So airhead number 1 for Ombre has been placed down as R22R continues to drive people towards that boundary line here of Maison du Creek. Now it looks like an Axis Lux has been able to make its way around to the northern portion of Cemetery here. As Battle's able to get some shots. Taken out by Gandalf, who again expresses his frustration and says that those 2 R22R players shall not pass. But R22R looks to have firm control over the church here, as some sort of spawn, either OP or Garrison, has now been put up here in the church. Most likely Timberwolf's OP. But we got some good whammo garrisons up here for Ombre. So looking at the map here, we're still dealing with the same garrison network that we were working with earlier for Ombre. However, they have been pushed back from that initial line on checkpoint back to Maison du Creek. So R22R just wearing down the Ombre defenses, winning those battles here through these open fields and these hedgerows, as now the canal south of Hardcap has all gone to R22R as they continue to move up into Maison. JD and Light trying to salvage their footing here in the wheat field as Artie starts to come in. I believe that's going to be Ombre Artie protecting that OP here that Wolf Creek and Bastude have been able to spawn back in on, getting forces that will hopefully help them push back into the wheat field. Blackhawk just laying down into the wheat field. worrying about how that barrel might go overheat. Just going to town as we see an R22R airhead coming into the mix as well here on the southern side. Sorry, not an airhead. This is going to be a supply drop, most likely for our backside recon units. Yep, there's Ripdoll. Coming back to make sure he can continue to shoot up flares here so that they all know where everybody is. St. Max with the other Belgian gate here. So good prep work on the R22R side to know when they will have the advantage with those Belgian gates, because they are definitely offering some very good sightlines here. Let's take a look and see what he's working with. While the gun has failed to load in, we can get an idea of what he is looking at here. So from this perspective, we take away the entire HUD again. You can see that he doesn't have a lot of targets to shoot at from the visible line of sight, as that smoke is there in the area. But popping up into our broadcaster's view here, they are continuing. Hombre is continuing to push guys through this wheat field. Is taken out here as Dude Peppers occupied. Wolf Creek may have also gotten the assist on that as well. Let's go in for the cinematic look here on ground level of how these fights really are looking. Demon hiding in the ground though, in that wheat. A lot of these players now are forced to be crawling through the wheat on their stomachs. So very interesting as neither one of these teams want to give up these locations. But let's go ahead, let's see if we can turn on some of these highlights here and get better looks at where everybody is sitting. Alright, so here we go. So now all the highlights are on, so it's going to make it a little easier for us to see, use our x-ray vision and see through this wheat. As Phil continues to just crawl on through, like doing the same. But really, from an overhead perspective, we go ahead and get rid of some of that wheat, not rendering in now. Gives us kind of a fun little look over how this whole battle is progressing right here. So, good flare here from Voodoo. Going to go ahead and expose those R22R players that are sitting out here in the field. Real taken out by Wolf Creek. Like getting more rocket shots here. Wolf Creek, though, and Occupied going at it here on the southern edge. Let's go ahead and see how this fight's going to go as Wolf Creek continues to try to hold off in his bush, but Occupied able to eradicate him. It's like the crawling Phil and the crawling Hivon are slowly starting to make their way all the way through the rest of this field, as Voodoo is now the only remaining hombre here in the wheat field. Scratch that, JD has been able to make it. This is like going back to those school days of capture the flag. I don't know if many of you guys had the opportunity to do those in your school days, but I remember just trying to sneak around playing either in school PE class or night games. Night games also in my neighborhood were pretty lit this time of year, summer vacation. Everybody was out having fun, no bedtimes, just go on out, have fun. And just crawl around, try to hide yourself in the darkness, get those flags. Those were the days. Childhood memories. Sometimes we have to go back. Looks like we are getting some shots here from the R22R tank as a precision strike appears to have gone in back here on the back side. Looks like it has missed, though. Let's go ahead and take a look and see where that strike came in. Yep, it looks like no destroyed tanks here in the area. So unfortunately for Commander Dandy, no joy on that target. So R22R is holding a pretty good front line, but it looks like Hombre has been able to amass some type of push back into this point, as now we can see the line that used to be along that FG line has now been pushed for R22R back, as people are starting to make ground here on the northern side. So we've got some good organization, good front line work as we continue to battle over these fields here on the southern side from Hombre. Just continuing to push through, not giving any inches as we are still in this tug of war here over the middle point. So now that we have just got over this tower, so now as we've just rounded the hour mark here for this match between Hombre and R22R, we still are at a 3-2 lead here for R22R. Now, R22R came out. We had some good back and forth here over the initial cap sector here of checkpoint. But R22R able to go ahead and get that cap relatively quickly here off the rip, and has since been able to hold ground of that middle road and has pushed Hombre back pretty good, even as far as the FG line, where it appears they might be sitting at this time as well. But slowly and surely, the armor has fought over this southern side. So R22R definitely coming with the game plan to force all of their tanks down here to the southern side to help out with the pushes through this field. So overall, actually, pretty good advantage here from, or a pretty good strategy here from R22R, knowing that infantry would not be able to be as effective down here. Even with all of the Belgian gates they have, they would have to move up and through that area. So triple stack Tiger formation is very difficult to overcome here. So good work on R22R to be able to get all those tanks up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're working with from the side of Hombre. 276s are stationed back here on the southern side, bunched up pretty good here, probably looking to get double taps on tanks as they can. So we have one tank is ready to go back behind the northern hedge here. One other tank is ready to dip back behind the southern hedge if either of them were to get a hit on him. But now it's just a test match. Who's going to move first? Precision strike comes in for R22R, but not taking out any tanks, as Vaga most likely experienced some type of ground panic in his pants. Might need a change here as that rep station goes up in flames. It looks like the damage may have damaged the 76 here for Spartan just a little bit, as we do see some damage coming out of this northern side here. The Jackie Jacquard here pushing in, trying to get an OP up to allow for some of his men to come back and try to rebuild those repair stations. So lucky break here for Hombre, as that precision strike could have proved to be very difficult, as it would have left their 176 alone to face this triple stack of Tigers. This ravenous Tiger pack coming in from R22R. We'll go ahead and leave these guys here for a moment. Go up again, see how this battle over in the north is kind of faring. Now, for some of you who maybe haven't looked around in the deep lore of Hell Let Loose, it's actually relatively fun to see that a lot of these original maps were based on real life locations, and not only based, but pretty well mapped out to real life locations. So this was one actually I was looking at the other day with SME, Sainte-Mere-Eglise, and the way that it sits currently versus what it would have sat like, or how it would have looked back in 1944. So there are a few more roads that kind of go through SME now, but the major areas such as the church and the courtyards surrounding it actually are still left up in their pretty good setup and formation that they were back here in 1944, at least according to the developers. So it is fun to be able to not only know that you're using and playing these World War II games, but knowing that that level of detail went into the design of them is definitely a fun little Easter egg here. Makes you think, if you were to make your way to any of these cities, if you'd be able to find your way around on some of these more urban maps where churches and buildings and streets and other things are so defined. Now, giant open fields, instead of like Purple Heart Lane or something like that, you do have the canals that kind of are still the same, but buildings and roads and whatnot might be a little different. airborne, making his way down the road, taken out by flying Zin. Let's go ahead and do a good look over the whole macro here of what we're looking at for both sides. Now, it looks like this north has been now pushed to this portion right here, just east of Cemetery, or sorry, just west of Cemetery, where both teams have kind of taken up defensive positions on the back sides of open fields. So somebody eventually will have to make a move, as it looks like all the armor is tied up in the south. So this is where your good shooters are going to come in handy as they look to try to get angles and just pick off the enemy. Yeah, going down to Tundra here on the southern side. As Carbo moves up, he's the next man up to try to get Tundra. Good shots on him, but Tundra able to take him out with the R98. Looks like a grenade though from Carbo getting the final word. So Carbo ending up with the final on that little fight there. Demon moving up, taking out Light as Light moved to try to get some AT guns up here. Try to combat this triple stack for the R22R side. My apologies, I had to sneak away for just 1 second. Rocket coming in from LaFay. As Mutha making his way on the southern edge of our screen here towards the southern edge boundary here of Ombre. Gotten our friends in now, are watching it on the backside here, so we're going to make sure all the sound is working for them appropriately. As R22R has gotten some bodies here on the backside of Hombre. SUBC just trying to hide and make sure JD doesn't come in and find him, but getting some shots off, missing. JD able to get around, but unfortunately not able to eradicate him. So SUBC with a good move here of shooting and moving, making sure he doesn't stay in one good location, but Dashy is just too fast for that. Says, not so fast, friend, and is able to take him out here. So we see a giant spawn come in here for Ombre as it appears their southern garrison by the 76 has been taken out. As Lekanak is now back here trying to hunt the 76. Now he is carrying the Kar 98, so he is going to have the Panzer shot. Getting a shot, one into the backside, so Lekanak here getting good angle as the 76 unfortunately turns the wrong way, gets his second shot in, and now his engines leaving Hickory available to get the satchel onto Capote. So we are in a dangerous position here for Hombre as Capote is able to get out and take him out, but unfortunately does not see if this satchel is on. Let's go ahead and see if we can see. Yep, satchel is here on the tracks. So it has probably less than 10 seconds as Capote, not realizing what has happened to his tank, goes up in smoke. And big boom going already here on the satchel for R22R. So good work on them to go ahead and get their way behind. Got Hero and Lenak over on the southern side, moving up against Jackie Jacquard. Lekanak taken out by Jackie. Hero getting a shot on Jackie though, so good work on Hero to wait patiently for him to go ahead and get around that line. Now nearing the halfway point here, we see R22R still with their advantage here over Hombre here, leading 3-2. Looks like we are seeing an airhead come in here for R22R. So let's keep a close eye on this, as most likely Match is trying to hold on to this. Are we going to see a bombing run potentially coming in here through for R22R? Does not look like that is going to be hitting here, as JD just waits patiently for that airhead to touch ground and will be removed here from JD. So good work on the defensive side here for Hombre to get up, but unfortunately by doing so have left the entire hard cap area open here. Tundra unfortunately runs right by the garrison here for Hombre. Still had it locked out though. Most likely prevented a spawn wave from happening as he ran on through, but Tom getting up over the side, taking him out. Now this will be big for R22R to see if they can continue flooding bodies back into this corner, as it looks like Hombre has now lost that garrison. So he very well could have put a satchel up here. So maybe he got the final laugh here, taking out that garrison on the backside. Tintin trying to figure out what's going on, as no supplies are currently back there. He was able to find some though, so good for him to go ahead and get that taken care of, as that R22R bombing run now comes through the point, leaving that garrison up. That Tintin was able to get up, so R22R should be able to start getting bodies back in here, as now the presence over the cemetery area does appear to have shifted all the way over to R22R. So those battle lines that we had seen earlier, looks like they have now been canceled out, as Virus is now the only Hombre back there trying to defend that, as R22R continues to push in through the north, leaving all of the spawns here for Hombre now gone. So Hombre now forced to come off of garrisons here in the middle of point, or off the garrison here at H7. So R22R slowly wearing through the forces, but big spawn wave does able to come off of Maison. And we do start to see some cap progress flicker in here, back here for Hombre, as they have people in the back lines here. Airhead has been called in for Hombre, as the bombing run to the south is just called in as well. So those will not match up with each other, but hopefully all the commotion and chaos going on in other areas of the battlefield might allow this airhead to go ahead and land without anybody noticing. Let's see if we can take a look and see right where that airhead's going to be landing. So right up in here, Tundra appears to be right in the area. Tundra looking around. Okay, here it is. We see it. Tundra no doubt sees it. Yep, he sees it. And with that, the only person here in the area that could help out is Grimskew. He is currently tied up in battle here on this northern side and is eliminated. So with that, the airhead will land. R22R will go without any problems. Now, looks like this situation back here on the backside is getting more and more bleak as Hombre lost that other garrison, but has put it right back up in the same spot here. So Tintin able to help out and get that garrison back up for his men, but something to watch out for because that just keeps getting eliminated here for Hombre. Looks like they have been able to also establish a garrison here on the southern side, so good on Hombre for being able to respond and try to get that presence, those flanks built back up, as now R22R no longer has any pushes here on the southern side. Jackish Card holding down this area nicely, making sure that his team is able to go ahead and respawn on this garrison. Go ahead and we'll zoom in here on the action just a little bit as we see shots coming through from an Axis tank. Okay, we do have a Stuart here in the back lines. Garrison currently is locked out. I wonder if another satchel got put up here. We will go see if that garrison will go up in smoke. Lord Palpatine, though, knowing that it's been put down, it looks like no satchel has been put down. Unfortunately, Lord Palpatine has become a victim of friendly fire. But now all of Hombre has now been forced to come off the garrisons in the south. R22R with the ability to push bodies into the front side here. Bodies piling into hard cap here for R22R, who could be on the brink here, starting to flip a cap race here. Top 5 taken out, Blackhawk taken out, Nicholas taking out Tundra, as we see point power starting in here for R22R, as they now own the entire hard cap sector, so no bodies in hard cap, so even if the reinforce was up, Pit Nicholas is going to be the only person now, as he has just entered the hardcap sector, who will be able to provide any additional support as that spawn comes off that southern garrison. So we've got a little bit of excitement here now as we start to see this cap progress tick up. We do see a tank, Tiger tank here from the Axis forces, be able to start pushing up into the tank area to support their push onto this point, as R2R now stands firmly in control of that point. The reinforce unfortunately able to do anything at this time for Hombre. So taking a look at it, let's see exactly what we're kind of working with here. So Hombre left in kind of a difficult situation here if they are to lose this point, having only one garrison back here on Rousseau. These garrisons will all be eliminated if this point does end up flipping to R22R, which at this point looks like we are on the verge of doing. Stuart trying to dive into the point here and salvage what they can. Unknown, though, if Tiger is up there. Unknown if they know if Tiger is up there. It's smoked out here. Try and provide a little bit of force power here as we now hit the cap progress back in favor of R22R. Or not, sorry, R22R Hombre. As bodies are flooding in here. Go ahead and just take a nice cinematic look here of this perspective as that Tiger tank appears that it may have gone up in smoke. We're going to go ahead and take a quick peek over there and see if that truly is the case. Yep, Tiger tank is gone. So that initial push that R22R had from the backside, no longer able to help from their armor squads. R22R now left with the forces that they have in the hardpoint. And Hombre reacting very nicely to that strong push-in from R22R. So let that be a lesson to you guys. That's one of the reasons why so many competitive teams these days play a nice wide front line. It ensures that other respawn locations and garrisons are available to be filled if needed to try to get people back into hardpoints as quickly as possible. And so this is a clutch example from Hombre on how they can go about handling those situations and how we all can take those into our matches. So while no garrison has gone back up on Creek here for Hombre, they have been able to eradicate that entire massive R22R push that was sitting right in the middle hard cap. Zombie and Tundra trying to push up through the canals, but are taken out by Pit Nichols and Fly Kamid. Now we have a 2v1 on Hero, who Hero just had a spawn in here off of an OP, or a possible garrison that is going to pay a big dividend here, because he needs to get some battle forces up here with it. Let's see what Mr. White's looking at. Mr. Wright with a good old sightline here for his MG42. Slowly but surely looking for areas where he can mount. And for us, it looks like we are clipping into that for us, but for him, it looks like he probably has a pretty good situation over here, as he is eliminated by a rocket from Wolf Creek from the backside. So my apologies there, Mr. White, as my presence there most likely got that taken out. And Wolf Creek coming in big as well with another garrison kill. Yeah, that garrison no longer there. So highlight for Wolf Creek as he sends a rocket from about 100 meters away and is able to take out that garrison here for R22R. So major push here and play by Wolf Creek. So kudos to him. We'll give him a good old Talon strike on that one. Very good work from Wolf Creek as he works to try to get his team back into the southern edge. Now, 2 garrisons for Hombre have gone lit up red, meaning they can't spawn. 1 recovered, 1 has been lost. So that's a 50% defense rate here for Hombre. So good on them to be able to protect that. And luckily the one that went down is the farther north one. There are plenty of squad mates, so hopefully they'll be able to recognize that and will work to continue at trying to get that garrison back up as Battle takes out Ramoncho, but in turn is eliminated by K2 or DJI. Ohio making some ground here on the northern side here for R22R. Hits an AP mine, unfortunately. We didn't even zoom in and the caster's curse got him. So we're just going to give a good old apology to him there, because we all know it secretly is the caster that causes all these deaths. Let's see if JB Mac is going to be the next victim of the good old caster curse as he moves around this area here of the cemetery. Raw aesthetics here from removing all of the additional points here. So JB does look like they have a few people around the area here. Let's go ahead and take a look. See if we can lock into JB. Yep, there we go. We're locked into JB, so we're going to go ahead and follow him for just a moment as he is looking around, trying to find any type of garrisons that may have been put up here for our Hombre. And with that, JB, we will just go ahead and bid adieu as you have now become victim to the caster's curse. Now, as I'm casting here from the Hombre side, they probably wish that I would go ahead and do that more. So maybe we go in and try to get some more first-person perspectives, because it appears that when I do that, they are able to get the kills. Splitty and Tundra moving up here on Skunk. Skunk facing a 2v1 here as Tundra rounds that corner. Let's go ahead and get an angle on that. Skunk able to take him out. Splitty also getting shots, getting him out as well. So Splitty getting the trade here. Now, so R22R can go ahead and get bodies moved up. Now, L9o Bob looks to have been able to watch that entire thing unfold. Let's go ahead and take a look at his eyes and just see if he is just going to be probably experiencing a little bit of PTSD, I'd imagine, from that. And he probably will have to go to a little bit of counseling in order to try to grapple with the risks, or grapple with the memory of that. We wish him the best of luck. And know we are there with you, Bob. Schmidt, though, running up the edge line towards Bob. Zoom back up on in here, see if Bob is going to be able to take out Schmidt, as Schmidt forces him to pop out around, and Bob and Tundra eliminate each other. So unfortunately for them, they just swap those bullets, but leaving Schmidt the ability to continue running down that edge. Yeah, R22R is looking very good. Hombre has had a lot of good light times as well here. So they were pushed all the way back here onto Creek, but they have been able to recover themselves now that we're looking at our map. Garrison Network's gone back up, and we got one up in the area of the cemetery, one just north of Hardcap, and then back here on the southern side where we have 276s that are trying to face off against these Tiger tanks here for R22R. We do know that they did lose a Tiger tank a little bit earlier, and this one appears to have been able to. This one appears to have taken a hit as well. So it looks like armor. Originally, where we had R22R with the armor advantage, it looks like both teams have kind of been able to level that back out now, as we have 2 76s and a Stewart there facing off against the one Tiger tank and potentially a second Tiger tank. Let's go ahead and see if we can find that second Tiger tank. Yep, second Tiger tank right here for R22R. Sorry, not Tiger. And we've got a Panzer IV here, led by Napkin Death. Just hammering into Creek here, trying to get as much room for his infantry to be able to keep pushing in. Now looks like we've got a good old Whammo garrison back here on the backside for Commander Dandy. Working to try to do what he can to get his forces up. Dropping a supply drop, though, on the backside. This looks like we may have lost the Tiger tank here. Okay, so just a little bit north of where we were seeing that Panzer IV here just a moment ago. There was a Tiger tank that I did not see with my tunnel vision, so Tiger tank being eliminated here for R22R. We see another giant explosion coming up here from the backside for Hombre. Let's take a look and see if it was one of those 76s. And it was. So despite their best efforts, it looks like we did have a trade of heavy tanks, as that Panzer IV might have been able to land the final blow onto that 76 once that one Tiger tank was eliminated. But Commander Dandy right now running around in that back line. Now, there are a lot of different strategies that you'll see various commanders for various teams play. One of them being what Dandy is doing right here, able to get behind defensive forces of R22R and are just trying to locate garrisons and put up any supplies, friendly garrisons that he could. And so that's one. Another one that you'll often see used is the commander kind of sticking along the backside row here, making sure that plenty of supplies are dropped throughout the course of the battle, trying to make sure garrison network stays up in strategic locations, and kind of working from that backside forward. So there are lots of different strategies. As you can see, it can be used definitely from both sides, as Leberju, sitting back here on the backside for R22R, appears to maybe be running kind of the secondary strategy that we were talking about, as he wants to command this battle from the backside. Ivan and Zombie, though, here with both of them with MGs, just laying fire into the Hombre defensive point here. They're able to provide some pretty good cover fire for their team as they move forward through that canal. So good work on both these guys to be able to take advantage of the opportunity now with the new bipod update that came out. Many machine gunners were very happy with the way that some of their enemies fought. But this one is one of the ones that are good at opening up, as it was previously not as viable to be able to push up the machine guns on these little portions. So they are very much enjoying their ability to lay lead down here onto the Hombre front here. Hombre looking to be able to get some type of push here through the south. Let's see if they were able to clear out that second Tiger tank, which they were, opening up the room here for them to be able to push. So good presence of mind here from the Ombre forces to be able to know that those that door pretty much has opened itself, and they're able to go ahead and push back up and in. So we'll go ahead and keep our eyes here now that we are battling again over these wheat fields. If we remember earlier, these guys were forced to get to the point where they were all kind of laying prone and just slowly crawling through the wheat field, trying not to make any noise, because as soon as a noise was made, somebody would be able to snap to your position and take you right out. It was quite the battle here on the southern side, as R22R appears to now have been pushed all the way back to the garrison that they have on the back line. Real, though, manning an AT gun, trying to get sight lines and angles onto those tanks that are coming up here for Ombre. Looks like the only one he'd have an angle at right now is going to be this Stewart, potentially, but it's going to be nice and hidden behind some of those bushes here on the backside, so might not have anything too much at the moment. But he is continuing to fire, with the 76 looking to get him some additional support as well. Stewart tank here, trying to figure out what that round might be that's coming at him. As it looks like Hero might be able to get back up there and is trying to spot where those tanks could be. So 76 reining in lead. Bimbo also reining in lead here on the southern side, as R22R works to try to get back into this presence here on the southern side, as it looks like that most of them have been eradicated. All right, so we have just rounded the hour mark, and we give you a quick brief rundown of what's happened so far in this match. So the off the rip, R22R and Ombre were able to get a good battle here over the southern portion of Checkpoint, and ultimately the pushes led to R22R being able to get that first win in the cap here over Ombre. He did go back and forth just a little bit, but R22R eventually able to overcome Ombre's defenses and take that checkpoint. From that point, we have seen R22R push back into Maison, even going as far as having it about 2/3 of the way capped. But Ombre, able to rely on their defensive garrison network, was able to go ahead and get bodies back into the point and recover that cap progress that R22R had made, and reform their line. Right now, there is not a garrison up on Maison. So we're going to continue to watch that, as no doubt we've got plenty of officers here in the area. Supplies have now been dropped, and they'll be looking to try to get that garrison back out. Op 5 and Tintin, moving on a collision course, is occupied. Gets some shots down this line, taking out the Ombre defenseman. Tintin, unaware that OP5 is down in the canal behind him, but he does know that Zombie is firing his big old machine gun. And just like that, Tundra able to come up from the distraction, able to take him out. Leaving the door wide open for Op 5 and his squad to be able to push up through that canal at the bottom portion of Creek here. Now Garrison lighting up, letting Ombre know that bad guys are in the area. Lennox and Tundra are going to continue to move up into the point. Tom moving on into Tundra. Tundra able to take him out, though. Let's go ahead and switch our perspectives here. Kind of be a little bit more overhead. Gene, knowing that those shots were coming, looking down in the canal, did not see Mechanic making the jump over the wall as he jumps right back in. But no doubt hearing that garrison here, trying to get around, is currently locked out for Ombre, so they do not have to worry about a spawn wave coming in, as him and Tundra just double team on that garrison to get that eliminated very quickly. So R22R starting to mount some type of push here right up through the middle. Be interesting. It has been a while since we've seen a commander ability come in for a bombing run, so R22R might be relaying that information back, and we could start seeing that type of cap pressure come back in here as they force people to try to get back into the point here for Ombre. Lord Palpatine, resurrected like the Dark Lord of the Sith that he is from the previous satchel charge that we saw on there. Moves up onto the garrison. Fly commit, though, able to take him out, eliminating the threat. So good work and good awareness from Fly to know that garrison got lit up and is able to get around here and help his team preserve that spawn. So very good work from Fly. Or Phil commit. And with Tundra falling, the rest of the R22R push that came in from that southern side has been taken out. So good work from Ombre to clear their lines here. As it looks like those are the farthest back players that R22R currently had at the moment. So front line has gone back into control of Ombre. So good on them as they look to try to mount something in the next 24 minutes. So just a reminder for commander abilities, airhead spawns and bombing runs take 10 minutes to cool down. So if one was used right now, and of course depending on resources, the commander ability may be available at least 2 more times here for Dandy if he were to elect to be able to use that. As far as resources go though, manpower well within power, plenty of fuel, munitions are a little on the low side, so it does leave against the relatively low side. 500 still is a really good munition score. That gives you enough for bombing run, gives you almost enough for bombing run and recon plane abilities there, all at the same time. So actually it does, so that would be 450 that would be required for both of those. So plenty of resources there for Commander Dandy as he looks to go ahead and try to rally his troops in these final 20 minutes. Again, we appreciate you guys joining us on this Sunday afternoon. I'm your host, Night Falcon. Trying to lead you guys through this battle on FME as we have the battle here between L9o and R22R. It's been a good one. We've seen lots of back and forth, lots of fire, lots of battles going on here. So both teams came into this ready to go, ready to fight. And that has definitely come through on their prep. So very good work on both teams to have been able to hold out as we've gotten to just over an hour in, with R22R leading at a 3-2. Commander Dandy has moved back up into the defensive zone here. So from his little vacation that he was seen in the western side of the map, looks like he has made his way back to the friendly side of the line. So with that, we have a bombing run coming in for Ombre here. It's going to be centered over this Tiger tank here. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what that damage does. Let's see if there's any garrison here. I do not see garrison potentially. That bombing run scaring that Tiger tank, or not that Tiger, but the Panzer IV out of the area as the P4 does end up sneaking through, but is heavily damaged. Unfortunately, not able to eliminate him, but Pessis looking to try to get around, see what damage he might be able to do. As he is now the lone player here in the middle of the checkpoint for Ombre. Muppet trying to get out and get that rep here on his tank. Is eliminated though. No, Muppet was able to get back in. So my ball used direction. Muppet is back in the tank. apologize, I was muted. So this good push coming in here from Hombre as they work to try to get into the point. The American Bazooka, unfortunately, that card Genius here is wielding, unfortunately not able to do anything, but we were able to get this 76 here to get a sight lane on that Panzer IV, and it has now been eliminated, leaving the armor out of the hard cap here for R22R. So good push coming in here for Hombre, as Hombre has been able to go ahead and draw in some advantage here and get bodies flooding into that cap. Now, it does leave a lot of people on islands as P Squad, N Squad, and Q Squad are up in that area and currently do not have any OPs up in that area. So they either were wiped by the R22R pushes that were coming back in, or they are currently on cooldown. And so that small little push that we were seeing from Hombre might just fizzle out, but we'll see what N and P squads are able to do here as we keep an eye on this Tiger tank on the southern side. Another Allied 76 coming out of the back bottom spawn here for the Allies, leading us into a nice final closing 20 minutes here. Plenty of action that's still left to be had. St. Max on his stoop that comes from this Belgian gate, looking down, trying to get angles on Light and Alpha Walk. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, Caster's Curse there. Another advantage here for Hombre as the Caster's Curse comes in. Let's go ahead. Let's move up on Demon here as he now has his MG perched over this area. MG has gone out, just firing as much as he can into those wheat field, trying to take out whatever guys are there. Going to the accuracy by volume route here. So we'll go ahead and pull back now from Demon as he continues to keep diligent watch over those fields. Now we have one Tiger tank here for the Axis side that's pushed up on the southern side. And if you look at the top of your screen, about one more Tiger tank, as the 76 appears to have gotten around into that Tiger tank, forcing him to back up. Tiger tank unable to see him though because of the smoke screen that's been put up by the Hombre defenses, so that smoke screen trying to cover him through the field ended up coming in clutch here as the tank was able to get an angle and get a shot off on this Tiger, but the Tiger unable to return the volley. Rough Puff looking around, making sure no satchels are on him, as Matt Toaster and Rough Puff are able to get out and get the double spawn and get the double repair here, as Matt will continue to just to try to find out where this 76 might be for the Allied squad. Strafing run coming in. Now the 76 that we are working with right over here. There is a hero. He is heavily damaged. Working to go ahead and get some additional repairs on him. That was quite the shot here from the Hombre gun, as you can see, the Hombre 76. This was the angle that he would have had. So very good shot here, as he was able to fit that into the backside of the Tiger, or sorry, not the backside, but the side of the Tiger tank. Tiger tank now fully repaired though, moving back into that position. Now we know from COVID and Raptor over there, Rap2, sorry. We know that is the location where that 76 currently is. So we'll go ahead and see if those guys end up engaging themselves again. As R22R appears to be in control of the field, or at least trying to gain additional control of the field, as now they are 2/3 of the way into the field. As St. Max and Wolf Creek embrace their inner ninjas, both laying prone in the grass. Not wanting to make the first move. Here we face the American soldier and the German soldier in their natural habitat, climbing through the wheat, trying to avoid confrontation with the other party, for fear that their life might not be spared. But with that, the R22R defender is gone. So we're going to step away from our National Geographic documentary there for a moment. Hombre, though, getting back into the swing of things here on the southern side, gaining control over that wheat field now, is occupied, is surrounded by about 6, 7 little blueberries. occupied though, making his presence known, taking out Wolf Freak. Blackhawk taken out by Demon here on the southern side, with his MG gun still trained over that field. Now, one thing I would be interested in knowing is if that Belgian gate, if he's able to go ahead and mount up on the little middle portion of that Belgian gate, that would be quite the interesting advantage to hide out and shoot over these fields. But alas, we are not able to check that out here at the moment because I don't have a machine gun. Yep, sorry to say it. I am stuck in the God camera, or the bird's eye view, that we like to call it here on the Night Falcon channel. "15 minutes left. Pushes from R22 or from Ombre appear to have fizzled out here as they are no longer in control of that road. Bodies have been forced to go back into Creek to spawn, and now we are back to kind of our frontline pushes, with both sides controlling their own portions of those cap sectors, or sorry, both sides of that field. So for those of you that might be watching this stream later in the day, later in the evening, later in the future, speaking to those future guys, hopefully everything's going all right in the future. But would love for you to go ahead and leave us a like, leave us a subscribe. Just helps us climb up those YouTube categories, those YouTube channels, the rules that they set in for the content creators here. I am newer in the streaming world, so my viewer counts are a little bit lower, subscriber counts are a little bit lower. But trying to do what I can to provide as much fun, engaging entertainment as I possibly can for you guys. So appreciate you tuning in. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like, give me a good old subscribe. I don't put too many videos out there, so I won't clutter up your feed. But once those weekend streams come on out, you'd be definitely the first one to know. Also gives you access to the chat in the chat column, because we all know how much fun we like to have in the trash talk sector. But it seems like relations with these two teams are pretty good. So don't have too many trolls over there in the chats trying to spice some people up. But it looks like we have lost the Ombre 76 here, unfortunately. But they did live a good life, getting a shot onto that Tiger tank, making their presence known. They were able to continue to get additional power and get pushes through further infantry. And so for that, we thank you and salute you. R22R continues to push off their defensive bases here, trying to force an action here from Ombre, who is in the kind of the passenger seat right now. R22R definitely in the driver's seat, going kind of into their prevent defense here for all my football friends. Now, the prevent defense is often known, though, for causing some problems late game, as you want to make sure all the play stays in front of you. But we know plenty of good football endings have come around because of plenty of defenses that have been in the prevent defense. Not saying that this is going to be the case this time for R22R, but fate will decide here in the final 8 minutes. AT gun going down for R22R, though, as a shot ricochets off of the friendly 76. Lutha trying to reload his rockets. Look to get another angle here on that 76. 76 takes another hit from a Tiger. Most likely that Tiger right up there to the top of our screen between those two hedges. We're going to go ahead and stick right here just to see if... Oh, and the shot goes into the ground. So obviously with a little bit of angle here, that Tiger tank unfortunately not able to get another shot here on this 76. And Capote is able to go ahead and continue moving. Draven, though, getting another rocket shot onto that 76. Most likely hitting tracks, so his tracks most likely are not able to go around too much. Blackhawk's urgently reaching out to support his tank, so good on Blackhawk to recognize the situation. Another tank coming in, another shot from Draven, both hitting, but unfortunately hitting just the tracks of that tank here. As Reben now hops out to help Blackhawk with the quick double rep. Tiger tank still trying to find an angle where he can hit that tank. be very interesting because here, while he might not have an angle, oh, he does on the 76. 76 goes down. Now, I was thinking it was going to be an interesting thought if he knew that the people were out repairing the tank, switching to HE and just kind of eliminating those additional crew members. Might have been an interesting game plan for him to go ahead and switch over and do, but alas, AP stays in the chamber, and they are able to get that rocket, that shot onto the 76, eliminating it from the conversation. Now, we did see an allied bombing run go through, but it looks like not much damage was done as a lot of R22R players still currently sit in the middle of the hard cap. So that is going to be the last bombing run here for Ombre. And they will be now left up to their own devices to try to get into that hard cap sector here in the final 9 minutes. Now, as a reminder for our viewers at home, it does take 2 full minutes to capture a point here in L9o in the warfare battle. So, regardless of the number of people that a team may have in the point, it won't speed up the cap, it won't do anything like that. So they need to hold full cap pressure and full cap dominance, not full dominance, but at least an advantage over the defenders here to be able to get that. It has to be for a full 2 minutes. So we're going to be looking for that battle to commence here, and hopefully some cap pressure coming in for Ombre here within before that ticker on our clock hits 2 minutes or lower. Once we get to that point, though, we will know if no cap pressure has gone in, that R22R is securing their victory. I'm going to zoom in here on Pitt Nichols as he is probably looking through his map, trying to figure out where these tanks might be with the AT class as he tries to push up and get some type of advantage. Getting shots on SUBC. SUBC getting the best shots as he takes out the Ombre attacker there. Hickory SUBC now flying Zin, looking to figure out where those spawns came from and are able to take out that OP here for Ombre. Now Ombre still left up with their garrison network. Looks like Southern Garrison has been eliminated with some enemy R22R player being able to get behind them. Looks like Little QC probably was that player taking out that garrison to the southern side. So Ombre now left up with 2 garrisons here to really launch all of their attacks from. OPs are still up, but are slowly being eliminated here on the Ombre side as R22R continues to push bodies forward. Now it looks like the canal has turned into a highway that Ombre is using to try to get people into the tank as artillery starts coming in and just obliterates some of the respawn bodies there. Another round coming in as well. Artillery definitely knowing their way around the gun as those shells have come in very quickly. No doubt knowing the exact timing of when to switch, when to load, so they can minimize the amount of time they need to spend in the screen and in between those to maximize the amount of rounds they can get downrange. These artillerymen, really it comes down to how good they can do math in their head and how quickly they can rotate those guns, how quickly they can get rounds back into the chambers. Because a good artilleryman who's able to limit the amount of time downtime on those fire shots, it's going to prove to be a major benefit for his team. I faced artillerymen that seemed like it felt like there were 2 men on guns, or at least had 2 guns rolling at one time because they were so good at what they did. Now it looks like we've lost an Ombre tank down here on the southern side, so that Stewart is now no longer with us as the Tiger tank appears to have gotten an angle on them and eliminated them from the competition. Looks like we may have lost another Ombre tank here. Yep, looks looks like Greyhound now is no longer there, so that leaves the only armor on the field right now for Hombre as the 76 and the medium Sherman that's coming down the middle point here. So here, as we hit the final 4 minutes, 30 seconds of this match, we are definitely sitting here with action going on as we see an airhead coming in for R22R just to provide a little bit of additional reinforcement to that hard cap sector. Now, looking at one more time here on the backside. So from the macro level, we can see that R22R is starting to at least be collapsed from the northern portion. And we see the Hombre attackers we just need to get a little bit closer. It looks like we were just a little too far away. So Hombre kind of holding out in their Alamo here in the final 3-story building here. Pestis is now his team's only lifeline there at the moment. Pestis now eliminated from the conversation. Now is no longer with us. So this 76 trying to do everything he can to go ahead and be a force for Hombre as they try to push into the point. And with that, Flynn Zinn though, flying Zinn trying to do what he can to eliminate this 76 as rockets coming from all angles are looking to try to take out this Hombre 76 here. And just trying out a little bit of fun stuff here on the backside.
Infantry coming in for the Axis forces. Takes out that medium tank here for Ulrich. So Ulrich now left defenseless with no armor squads. That ocean appears to fizzle down. So 2 minutes and 25 seconds left here. We are going to go ahead and look at R22R finalizing here this R22R win. Here over Hombre with a 3-2 victory here on SMU today. Very good work from both teams. I apologize, I'm still in my voice.
Let's go back to my voice. Although I'm not gonna lie, that voice was probably more entertaining to listen to anyway. But here, as we now are under 2 minutes, R22R is going to walk away with that victory. So giving a quick recap of this entire match, R22R came out strong right off the rip. And after contesting the point both ways with between Hombre and R22R, R22R was able to go ahead and get on the final side of that cap and get that initial cap. And from there, they have held checkpoint for the full duration of this match. Now, Hombre was able to get some cap pressure onto checkpoint at times, but everything was squashed out pretty quickly by R22R. Now, the biggest advance that we saw from R22R was a complete capture, not a complete capture, but about 2/3 of the way captured onto Maison de Creek. But Hombre able to respond very quickly and able to mitigate the amount of risk and issue and problems that they were facing there at the point. So able to reform their line to get us back to this point where we are now going to have that 2-3 victory for R22R. So very well had there not been a couple spawns for Hombre, we could be looking at a 4-1 situation here as cap pressure does look like it's starting to come in here for R22R. But that unfortunately won't mean too much as the point tally will not change. So as we near the final 30 seconds here, a very good match from both teams. as they work and push double stack Tigers here into Maison de Creek, just reminding their opponent of trying to establish their presence here onto the point here, trying to force it in and get the little added victory of knowing that we were capping the final point at the very end of the match. So with that, though, R22R walking away from the victory in this week 1 contest here between them and Ombre. Very good work on R22R's side as they work to get that.
Now, as we speak about our final Battlefield player of the game here for Ombre, let's go ahead and give a good shout out here to Commander Dandy as he worked to try to organize as many pushes as he possibly can. So Commander Dandy gets the Falcon call out of the match here on the nice radio chat as our MVP of the match today.
However, both sides very well could have had plenty of people that could have gotten that commendation as well. But overall, very good battle from both sides. We appreciate the amount of time and effort they put into getting that action play into it for us. And we hope you guys have enjoyed watching this match for us. Again, if you did enjoy, we would very much appreciate that like, that subscribe. Just helps us as we try to climb up the ranks and get to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark that YouTube requires for some of the additional features on their channel. And so any help that you guys can provide to that, I'd greatly appreciate it. But with that, we will let you guys head off to the rest of your day. Thank you very much for staying and being around with us for the last hour and a half. And we look forward to seeing you in week 2 of TPL.